So I found this at the international store near my parents' house, and tamarind for Cade because he loves some tamarind. It's very common in Brazil and Jamaica. So anyways, tapioca flour is from the Manioc root, and we have a lot of it in Brazil. And I think this is what I use to make pão de queijo. So I'm going to try some of that. And tapioca starch, if I'm not mistaken, is how they make the tapioca sandwiches that we always used to eat like 2-3 times a week in Brazil. So man, and each of these was like 90 cents. So if I can figure out how to make this stuff, one happy Rachel.
5 minutes to Fergie. 5 minutes to Fergie. Yeah.
So let's see if this works. Oh, the oven's ready, 400 degrees. So we got the tapioca flour. All the recipes I saw use some salt. They all use some kind of cheese. We always use Parmesan cheese in Brazil, so let's go for that. 1 or 2 eggs they called for, so we're going with 2. Olive oil, some of them called for vegetable oil, we're going with olive oil. And they all call for milk. We got lactose-free milk, so we'll see how that works. All right, well, it took a lot more of the flour than I thought it would. We're sort of getting to the consistency that I thought it should be. It's definitely like working with cornstarch. The recipe called for 2/3 cup milk, 1/3 cup olive oil, 1.5 cups tapioca flour, 1/2 cup of Parmesan, and some salt to taste, and an egg. I did 2 eggs because I remember in Brazil I used to get the kit and you had to put like 3 eggs in it. So I was like, let's do more on the eggs. But I immediately saw that like the consistency was totally wrong. I added the whole thing of flour. So however much, this is at least 2 cups of flour, probably more. So it definitely needed more flour. And then it almost got too dry because it's like cornstarchy flour. So then I put a little more olive oil in, and then it got pretty much like I was familiar with. The top ones are before I put in extra oil, and the bottom ones. But honestly, like this was our snack that I always bought. I always bought in like a little kit in Brazil where you just had to add eggs. It was what I let the girls help me with. And I realized very quickly on that it was hard to mess up. So let's hope that this pão de queijo is hard to mess up. I have to say, just like the little, from the box ones I got in Brazil and the kids couldn't mess up, I'm impressed. Super easy, super yummy. Let's see, break it open. Ooh, look at that steam. Delicious. Gluten-free, guys. Goodness, I can't stop eating them. They're so delicious. And so I was reading up on it. So apparently, if you just leave it thin, and so you put in less flour, which is not how I was used to making it, then you can just fry them up like pancakes. Like pour them in like crepe, like make them consistency of crepes and make like little crepes with them. Imagine this as crepes. Somebody else I saw made like breadsticks. And like, seriously, the possibilities are endless. Tapioca starch, I also got tapioca flour. That's what I did for the pão de queijo. But this, I was thinking maybe would work for the tapioca sandwich kind of stuff that we made, like the flatbread. So I took it. It does have a majorly different smell. It doesn't really smell at all, but it's just like cornstarch, really. So I put it in here with some water and I put it through the sieve, and it looks sort of like still a lot drier. It smells a little different from the tapioca that we got fresh in Brazil. And we had, but yeah, you just put it on a pan like this. And I like to try to like scoot it together, but you can tell it's already starting to like connect together. And we're just doing cheese and turkey. So in Brazil we do queijo coalho. I'm doing mozzarella. It's probably the closest thing we have. Fresh mozzarella works good. I like putting some black olives. It's getting steamy. I like having some kind of more creamy thing, so I'm putting some hummus. Whatever kind of thing I would have on like a regular sandwich, I would have, hummus. And then I'm just putting on some
Turkey.
So let's see how this goes. Try to fold it over. I put a lot in there. But you can see it reacts a lot like the regular tapioca that we had in Brazil. And it creates its own little flatbread. So I feel like it's not as good. I don't think anything not as fresh will be just as good. But here we go. We got tapioca ready.